Mr. Wizard, I hate to say this, but your arithmetic isn't very good.
What's the matter with it?
Well, 1 plus 2 equals 3. That one's right. But 3 plus 3 equals 1? That's not right.
It is correct when you are dealing with cylinders like this and liquids. See, there's 1 unit down here. Okay. There's 2 units in here. Add them together. What do you get?
3, just like you said over there.
Okay. Now add 3 more. So
Okay. 1, 2,
okay.
3.
Add them to these 3. You think you should get 6, right?
Yeah.
Okay, watch.
It's going down?
Yep.
There's something strange going on behind this gray box.
There certainly is something strange going on there, but now first I want you to see that my arithmetic is correct. There was 3 in the cylinder, and you added 3, and what are we going to end up with according to my arithmetic?
1.
And we now have
2.
2, 1 3/4,
1 1/2.
1 1/2, 1 1/4, 1. I was correct.
That's
And you
really
were correct
strange.
also, because there is something strange going on behind this box. You know
I
about
see it now.
siphons? Have you ever fooled around with
No, I
siphons?
haven't.
Well, let me see if I can explain it. By not using water, but instead using chain as a substitute for water, okay? This is water in a tube, and that's
Okay.
water in a supply, like in that cylinder.
Okay.
Once you get the siphon started, pull on that chain a little bit. That's enough. See what happens?
Oh, it keeps going.
Yes, it keeps going because the weight of the chain down here is enough to overcome the gravity pulling down on this one, right? The gravity
Okay.
pulling down on
Yeah.
here is greater than that. So that's what gets it started and what keeps it going. So what we have here is a self-starting siphon.
Okay. So that means this doesn't need anybody to start it before.
Anybody to get it started, because what do you have? We had 1 plus 1, okay, 1 plus 2. So put 2 in there, and then get rid of, here, the other way. Pour 2 in there now.
1.
1 plus 2, stop.
Oh, these are the same level.
Yes, you see, it's at the same level. Now, the minute you go a little above that, you're going to start the siphon, and then it'll start flowing.
Why
Okay.
doesn't it stop when it gets
Well,
to 3?
you'll see. Pour it in there. You added 3 plus 3 equals 1, right? There it started. There it goes. Okay, now, you can see why the pressure of the water here is greater.
Yeah.
See, so it's going down. Now, when it gets here, this water flowing out of here is going to pull that water over, in effect, just like the chain.
Okay.
So that's why it
That's why
continues.
it keeps going.
And where is it going to stop?
At 1.
We're going to stop right there. So you see, my arithmetic was correct. 1 plus 2 equals 3. 3 plus 3 equals 1 when you're dealing with a self-starting siphon. Here's a pond animal that looks like a tree in that there's a stalk, and up at the top are a bunch of branches sticking out. But it's not, it's an animal, and a very unusual one in that...
What kind?
Well, it's called a Hydra.
Hydra?
Or a Hydra, right. After a famous myth in which there was an animal you could cut off the head and it would grow a new one. And
Does this do?
This will do the same sort of thing, yeah. But the interesting thing about the Hydra is that these arms that stick out have little harpoons on all those little bumps. And when an animal swims by and it can sense the right kind of protein, whoop, there goes a
Oh, it's
water
almost
flea went by.
captured it.
I thought maybe it would capture it. The harpoon comes out and sticks into the animal, and there's a sort of like a hypodermic needle, and it calms the animal down, and eventually the Hydra brings it around to the point in the center where all the arms, come together, and that's where its mouth is. And by the way, right there at the mouth, do you see something? You see something moving there?
It's moving.
Yes, there's another little pond animal that's on the mouth of the Hydra, and it's probably eating bacteria that are stuck to the Hydra.
Won't it get eaten by the Hydra?
No, the Hydra probably won't bother it. Now let's go to the other end. You'll see that the Hydra is stuck to the wall of the slide here with a sort of suction cup. Yeah. And it can tumble head over heels when it wants to move. So
all
it's
the time?
there's a little animal. See it?
Oh yes, it must be cleaning.
Yeah.
as
Whoop!
well.
There he goes.
Pretty fast.
Yeah. So it's probably going along and cleaning off bacteria from the surface of the Hydra. Every once in a while you'll find them on old pond animals. See, there he comes. And the Hydra won't bother him. So well, let's go up and take another look at the animal that looks like a tree that catches things with its harpoons and finally swallows them whole. The scientists did a very interesting experiment with this Hydra. It's 2 layers of cells. There's a layer of cells on the outside and another layer on the inside. Whoops.
Oh, it's catching something.
There's the water flea, or Daphnia. I think it caught it.
Oh, so how long would it take?
Well, it'd take hours for it to swallow it, because it has to bring it down near that opening in the middle and swallow that great big water flea.
Oh, it's almost
Sometimes
like
the water fleas escape. That one got away.
Yeah.
All right. Anyways, they started to say there are 2 layers of cells, and a scientist wondered what would happen if he put a chemical in that makes the Hydra open its mouth. And he put it in the water, and the Hydra opened its mouth and turned itself all inside out. Then the amazing thing happened. All the cells that were on the inside, that were now on the outside, went back to the outside again. They migrated right through the animal. And the cells that were on the outside before now ended up back on the outside again. So, and the scientists now pose the question, how did the cell know where it was supposed to go? All right. Anyway, a fascinating animal that a lot of scientists have studied. It's called the Hydra.
The Hydra.
Eliana, here's a trick you can play on your friends. All you need is a piece of string and a straw. Oh, and a scissors. So you pick up the scissors, and I'll bend the straw like this. What I'd like you to do is to cut right through the middle, okay?
There.
Now, in spite of the fact that you cut through the middle, you haven't cut the string.
That's impossible.
It seems like it, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's because you were making an assumption. And that's a lot of tricks are based on the assumption. And scientists have to be very careful that they do not make assumptions. And that's why it's very easy to fool people, because you can make them make assumptions by hiding certain parts. And scientists, of course, try to look for those hidden parts. What I did was I cut a slit in the straw like that. See it?
Okay, yeah.
Okay. Now, when you put the thread or the string through it, it naturally goes right straight through.
Yeah.
Okay, but the secret comes when you make the fold. As I told you to pick up the scissors, I folded the straw. Now here's where the cut is. See right there?
Yeah.
When I folded the straw, I put the cut on the inside like that. Now when you pull down on the string, see?
Oh, I see.
Okay, now go ahead and cut the straw. And you didn't cut the string. Did you get the idea? I think you can play that on your friends?
Yeah.
Or have you used a knife before? Because you have to be careful you don't cut yourself. If you have any trouble, why, have your parents help you. Okay. So here's some straws, and there's the string. You can furnish the knife and the scissors?
Yeah.
Okay, good luck.
Thanks.
This is not a giant racetrack, but everything about it is huge. 50-ton electromagnets and tunnels that go on and on. It uses enough electricity for a city of 30,000, all to explore parts of atoms by producing pictures that are clues to their structure. At the Fermi National Accelerator Laboratory, this is the main atom smasher, one of the largest scientific instruments in the world, used to study some of the smallest things in the world. Okay, Kelly, here it comes.
Okay.
Oh,
There it is.
In the bottom of the refrigerator. Here, bring it on up here.
Okay.
That airplane is one that came from this book, which I'd like to give to you.
Wow, gee, thanks.
See what it's called?
Yeah, it's the Great International Paper Airplane Book.
Now, a long time ago, a magazine that's read by scientists and engineers called Scientific American had a paper airplane contest.
Did they?
to see the one that could go the greatest distance, the one that stayed up the longest, and so forth. And they got entries from all over the world, and they published them in this book.
Oh.
Open that page to the one I've got marked there.
Okay. It's the same one.
Recognize it?
Yeah.
There it is. That's the airplane that I made from their designs.
Yeah.
So there are all kinds of other ones in here. So I'd like you to take it home and try various designs until you find the one that you like the best. Okay? Then bring it back and and fly it for me, will you?
Thanks again.
Okay.
Boy, some of these are weird.
Okay, here, try this one.
Okay, that one's kind of like a helicopter.
Oh, that one really needs some adjustment. Here,
Yeah.
better take the first one and try that one again. There you go.
Yeah.
Here, come on, I'll help you down now.
Okay.
You want to pick those up down there?
Okay.
Because I want to know if you remember how to make these, because they look relatively simple, don't they?
Yeah, they are.
Are they? Here,
I'll
what
show
do
you
you
how
have
to
to do?
make them. Okay, first you have a long strip of paper.
This is the pattern that was in the book, right?
Yes.
Okay.
And then you cut it right there.
Mm-hmm.
And then you cut it right there.
Mm-hmm.
And there.
Mm-hmm.
Then you fold it like that.
Mm-hmm.
Then you fold it on top.
Mm-hmm.
And you fold that one on top.
Okay.
Then you lift these up. This is kind of like a propeller, and this one goes on this side. This one goes on this side.
And the folded section down here works as a weight.
Yeah.
Right? To make sure that it continues down like that.
Uh-huh.
So that was your favorite?
Yes.
Okay, it's not really kind of like an airplane. As
No.
you say, it's more like a helicopter.
It's kind of an unusual one.
Yes. So what else did you enjoy about the book?
Well,
Tell me, start from the beginning. What happened?
okay. I was at home eating milk and cookies, and then Jake came over, and I told him about this book, and then we photocopied some airplanes, and we made some.
Okay. So which were your favorites?
Well, I like this big one.
Was that done by a professional designer, do you know?
I can't remember.
Okay. But some of them were designed by professional airplane designers, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And some were just built by school people.
Yeah, okay. Like you.
Yeah.
You could have entered the contest?
Yes.
Okay.
And then this one.
Okay.
It's sort of like yours, but it doesn't have a hole.
Okay, here's mine. You see the one that
Yeah.
has a hole in it. Okay.
Cool.
Anything else?
And I like this one.
Now, have you tried to fly these?
No, because I just came back over.
Okay, so let's try flying them. In fact,
Okay.
we'll have a contest. You pick them all up, and we'll go over there by your stool, and we'll fly them and see who's the first one that can get through the door.
Okay.
Come on around over here. Okay, you go first.
Okay. I'll try my big one.
Oh, almost. Here goes mine. Oh, terrible.
There.
Oh, hit the kitchen cabinet. Try that
Yeah.
one.
Okay.
Almost.
Almost.
Here comes one of your favorites, you
Okay.
said. Ah,
Almost.
missed. Try
Oh, that one.
Ha-ha! Right through the door. Tarek, have you ever been camping and used one of these lanterns?
No.
Well, it's a very useful one because there's fuel down below, and when you tie on one of these little things called a mantle, which looks like it's made of cloth, and then you turn on the fuel and you light it, this thing burns all up. Yet it continues to glow for days at a time.
Holy.
Yeah, so it's a very interesting chemical reaction which you and I are going to duplicate, and it's a sort of dangerous experiment. So that's why I have you on safety glasses and me have safety glasses. And I'd like you to do it. Now here's what I'd like you to do. Here's the blowtorch. I'm going to light it, and then I'd like you to take this glass rod that has this piece of metal hanging from it
And put it in the...
into the flame until it gets nice and red hot, and then carefully place it back into this.
And do the same thing with the next one.
Right, okay, you got the idea? So I want you to be very careful because this is very hot. Okay, here's the first one. Hold it in there until it gets red hot. Ah, getting there. Okay, red hot. Now put it in here. Okay, very good. Now try the same thing with the other one. Very good, okay. Now can you turn off the torch?
Yeah.
It's still hot, so let's get it out of the way.
Okay.
But while I'm doing that, you take a look at these two pieces of metal that you heated up.
That's weird.
Why?
Because I put this one in first, and
Yeah.
it's now still red hot.
Right.
And this one in last, and now it's black, which should be this one black, and this one still red.
Right, it should be the other way around.
Yeah.
Well, here's what's happening. This one is a plain beaker with nothing in it, except air. So when you put the copper plate in this one, it gradually cooled off. Okay, so let's get rid of that one.
Okay.
In this one, however, notice there's a liquid at the bottom.
Yeah, some kind of acid.
You know, that's some kind of fuel.
Oh.
And as the vapor of the fuel comes up next to the hot copper, there's a chemical reaction takes place, and one of the byproducts is heat.
Oh.
That heats up the copper.
Yeah.
So that as more fumes come up, the chemical reaction continues. So in this mantle is some of the metal that's impregnated in here that you can't really see. It's real fine.
It's like invisible because you can't.
Right. So when it burns up, some of that metal is still there. So that's what keeps the thing burning continuously for days at a time. Okay, you get the idea?
Yeah.
Okay. And I want to congratulate you. You did a very nice scientific experiment that could have been dangerous, and you were very careful. Congratulations. Scientists and other wildlife experts from California's Department of Fish and Game, the National Park Service, and the U.S. Forest Service have come to Sand Mountain in the rugged foothills of the Sierra Nevada mountains to carry out what is called a transplant. They're planning to capture bighorn sheep to move them to a new area north of their present range. The first step is setting up nets made of soft fibers stretched out to form a barrier. The plan is to drive the animals down from higher ground into the nets. It's impossible for men to follow the sheep on foot or even on horseback. The only way to round them up is with helicopters. Soft pads on the bighorn's feet grip onto the surface and absorb the force of the impact as the sheep jump from rock to rock. It takes skilled pilots to herd them into the nets. As quickly as possible, the team rushes into action. Even trapped in the net, the frightened animals are not easily brought under control. The crew ties the sheep's feet together and then blindfolds it to quiet it down. The helicopter carries the sheep to a processing center set up nearby. There, a veterinarian examines each animal. Complete measurements and even blood samples are taken. They fit each bighorn with a special ear tag and collar for identification. Some are also fitted with special collars that send out radio signals with which they can be tracked after their release. Finally, they're loaded into boxes for transport to their new home range farther north. Meanwhile, back up on the mountain, the aerial roundup continues. It takes skill, courage, and hard work to hopefully establish a new herd of bighorn sheep via transplant. Sarah, I would like you to glue these two glasses together without glue or paste in such a way so that you can pick both glasses up by just picking the top one up like that.
I thought that was impossible.
Well, you'd think so, but it's not. With the help of a piece of paper towel and a little water, fold the paper towel twice, and then with the scissors, poke a hole in the middle. And I'm going to fill both glasses with warm water. Okay. Now, as soon as I pour the water, here, soak the paper towel in some of the water that I spilled there, okay? Now I'm going to empty them, and as soon as I put one down, you put that paper towel over so the hole's right in the middle of it, okay?
Okay.
Now I'll line them up like that. Now here's some cold water. Pour cold water over both of them.
Sure.
Go ahead. Okay.
Is that enough?
Well, I think so. You see there's a little fog sort of in the...
Yeah.
Okay, that sort of indicates that I think things are okay. Now, carefully, slowly pick up the top glass, and you will find you pick up both. Not too high,
Okay.
just in case. Why did they stick together?
Well, I think that the warm air from the warm water,
Yeah. We heated up the air in both
Yeah.
glasses with the water. Then what?
then when we poured the cold water over, it cooled the air, the warm air inside the glasses down, and then when something's cool or cold, it contracts.
Right.
And then that's what the air did in the glasses, and the pressure from outside
Yeah.
was going
We
against
made
the
a
glasses.
partial vacuum inside
Yeah.
here, right, and the pressure on the outside. In fact, pick it up again, see if it's still working. I see some bubbles coming in, so very good. Okay, actually try to take them apart now and see how well they're glued together. There, you see.
Holy.
You were absolutely right. You now know how to glue two glasses together using a piece of paper towel and some water, like that.
Mr. Wizard, why do we have to wear safety glasses if we're going to be roasting marshmallows?
Well, Brian, we're going to roast them in a very special way, so go ahead, put them on. And I thought instead of building a fire, we'd roast them with just a fuse. So there are some matches. You light the fuse, then take the matches and go back that way, okay?
Must be quite a big explosion if I have to take the matches back with me.
Well, just to be on the safe side, okay. Better than building a fire, right?
Yeah.
A lot simpler?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Hey, it didn't do anything.
Absolutely nothing. And the reason is because it didn't have enough oxygen. And when you roast marshmallows, you have them on a stick and you bring them out near the flame, right?
Yeah.
And you get it so that it's brown. Well, that's what we're going to do. And this time, we're going to add a supply of oxygen. So I'll put the fuse in. You get ready to light it, and then I'm going to put a supply of sort of powdered oxygen. It's really oxygen with another chemical mixed with it, but it will serve to give us a good supply of oxygen. And now you will see what I considered a really roasted marshmallow.
Oh, yeah.
Now you'll need the safety glasses. Are you ready?
Yes.
Remember, you're going to light it, then get back. And I'm going to take the supply of oxygen with me.
And I'll take the matches.
Okay, the match went out. Go ahead and put it in there. Okay, try it again. Whoop, there it goes. Back away. With a good supply of oxygen, you will see probably the most roasted marshmallow you've ever seen in your entire life. Watch.
Whoa, there it goes. Whoa. Still going. Hey, what's all that black syrup around by the marshmallow?
Well, that's the carbon. Now, that's what I call a roasted marshmallow. In fact, we're even roasting the wood under the pan.
Wow.
See why you had to wear safety glasses?
Yeah.
A very dangerous experiment. Fortunately, you can't try it at home because the powder I've got is a secret powder.
Well, I certainly wouldn't eat that marshmallow.